Hello, and welcome to the Common Corner. First things first, you might notice that my usual title isn't here. I'm going through some technical difficulties with my editing software at the moment, and it's one that I've been using for a while, and I would really like to keep using it because I've gotten used to the style of editing there and the color correcting and stuff, but there's some issues with that at the moment, hence I will be not using that software to edit this video. So the video is going to look a little bit different, and I apologize for the lack of continuity. But since we're kind of only going to be talking in this video and going through my January to June Avec, I thought that okay, maybe for just one video will be okay to not edit it and kind of sit through this raw footage. Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that before we begin, especially if you're a regular viewer. Hello, welcome back to the Common Corner. If you're new here, welcome to the Common Corner. Stay as long as you'd like. What I was about to say, that if you are a regular viewer, you'll notice that the video is looking a bit different, or maybe that's just in my head because I've gotten very used to the way that my videos look and I noticed the difference, but perhaps you wouldn't. So yes, okay. How I realized that the software isn't working is that I filmed this video yesterday, a couple of hours after completing my last exam of this third year of medical school exam season. I got home, I was really tired, absolutely exhausted, but I have been looking forward to doing a flip through of my second ever Avec, and my second ever Avec, tongue twister, is the January to June Hobonichi Techo Avec of 2024. And as it finishes the last day of June, and we are way past that now, this beautiful book is completed. And I wanted to do a full flip through of it. And I did do that yesterday, but indeed the video was super long. And I think I was quite emotional in it as well because I was tired and I had just finished this really long haul of studying and revising, and these weeks are the toughest of my academic life, and to be honest they are really tough on in my regular life as well, because my life just gets put on pause during this revision season. But alas, it is finally over. There's a lot more I want to say about that, but I might be doing a bit of a catch-up video later this week where I'll talk a bit more about my life. So we're gonna kind of skip past through that. But I would like to say a big, huge thank you to everyone who has supported me during this exam season. I must have gotten 100 good lucks in the past couple weeks, and to be honest, I think that that changed the questions on the exams to be ones that I knew. So that was super helpful. So thank you to everyone who wished me good luck. Oh, my nose is super itchy. Apologies for the little pause. But yes, so this is the second take, but that is okay. I think I'm a bit more clear-minded today. I slept so well. And I've had a good rest. So I think that that's going to help me kind of stay focused a bit more as well, and direct my thoughts a bit more kind of clearly. And I think that's helpful for both myself and for you as well. All right, I guess we'll just get started. There's a lot of other things that I want to talk about, but let's get started. Okay, at least to make a start. All right. I think I'm just nervous because this book means a lot to me. I really was at home in this book, and it was difficult to transition into a new Avec in the middle of exam season. But at the same time, it gave me a little bit of a distraction, a needed distraction during the exam season. One that allowed me to think about something else than numerous amount of pages and theories and medical physiology and pathophysiology, etc. And it was good to think about something else, and I really enjoyed that moving process despite it being kind of emotionally a bit difficult, because I'm in love with this book, and I needed to move out of it. So Yes, but I did make a 3-part series on changing books that are now all up on my channel. And if you'd like to see this book a bit more and see how I transitioned out of it, please do enjoy those videos. I really enjoyed making them, and they were super helpful for me as well. Okay, so let's get started. I just make a little title here because I cover the front cover of my books. So this is the Hobonichi Avec from January to June 2024. And the commonplace books that I completed during the time that I was in this Avec is the commonplace books 5 and 6. Those are there just for cross-referencing. All right, then this is the full yearly view. I just highlight my holidays, like my actual time off from uni. And I put a little Tata sticker from the BT21 collection here for the every month that I've completed in this book. So that was all the months from the first one to the 6th one. And I have my index here. It has not been completed. There will always be a couple of things that I don't complete in my books by the time that I kind of officially finish them. And that's completely okay. I think later in this year, I'm going to come back to this book and I'm going to reflect on my experience within the Avec books of the year. And I think that's when I'm going to feel like, oh, this is bothering me, and I'll fill it in. But today is not the day, and that's completely okay. So it is my index. There is kind of the title of the daily entries for every single day of the past 6 months. And it's quite satisfying to see that I have indeed filled all of them up, except, I mean, these pages are filled, but just not indexed. And here I also keep a film and TV log that I printed from Megan Rhiannon's Patreon. A big shout out to Megan. You'll see a lot of her illustrations in my books. She's a big role model for me, and I think a lot of other people as well in the planner and journaling community. And especially in the beginning of this book, I was using a lot of her illustrations. I think they tapered down a little bit when I was finding my style more and more of the things I wanted to include in my daily pages, but I think I will always be using at least something from her. So this is the film and TV log. These are all of the movies or series that I watched, and it continues here. And these are just the books that I've read. My habit tracker, I kind of refined this throughout the year, and I made kind of the finalized version now in my new Avec, which you can see in the part 3 of changing books. Or part 2. Part 3 or part 2? Sorry, I can't quite remember. But this was one of the most helpful things for me. It really kept me kind of grounded in the most important things in my life, like the basic blocks, which is sleep and nutrition and kind of, well, those are the 2 main things I would say probably. And I also tried to limit my screen time a little bit by tracking it and seeing how much actually I'm using my phone, because that is a problem to a lot of people these days, including myself, is that I am staring at a little screen for a bit too long every day. My December was in my previous Avec, so that's not filled in, but I did put the sticker from Killer Views that I got from the Stationery Fest here. There's not super a lot to see in my monthly pages. The main things that you'll see throughout is just the mood chart that has been super helpful for me to kind of see how that changes throughout the month and how that's associated with the actual events of the days. So yeah, here I just kind of, towards the end of the week, of every week, I go back in and I fill the events, so the physical things that took place that day, and as well as the weather. And I just like that. It's very simple. As the months continued onward, I started to add a little bit more of a decoration, some extra ephemera, as well as I've been highlighting the movies that I've watched in green, so I can kind of see how the movies that I've seen are tracked throughout the days and throughout the month. As you can see, more and more decoration is trickling in, and as I was kind of expanding my sticker collections, and I quite enjoy seeing them trickle into my books like this. And is there anything else that has changed? So yes, I have been, I think in May only. Yeah, so in May I realized that I really like noting down the plans for the month in red. So usually if I make plans for the following month, I don't do it in the weekly view. I rather do it in the monthly view. And that way, in the beginning of each week on Mondays, I can flip back to this month and I can check what I have planned for the week. And then I can actually note it down in my weekly view. The Moomins kept me a lot of company in May. So I did a little Moomin troll drawing here. I don't know why he's confused, but I guess he's just looking how much stuff I had going on, so maybe that's that. And then the final month. Here we can see a couple of important things. I got my first ever fountain pen that is here keeping us company today as well. The exam season began. Goodness, it was a difficult one. First exam on the 28th. Stationery test in Manchester. First time I ever met other people that enjoy the same hobby as me in person. Big deal as well. And I had my sisters visiting me in London. The very same sisters that I started this channel for. And yeah, I want to talk more about these, but I know that if I dwell on the monthly pages too much, we won't have enough time to get through everything, and the video is gonna take many hours to upload. And as I usually upload on Sundays, and today is Tuesday, by the way, to really tune us in. It's Tuesday, it's a bit past 6 p.m. It's raining outside. London is gloomy and grainy, but nevertheless, I'm enjoying my summer holiday full on. I'm enjoying this cozy mood. I'll view it as cozy rather than gloomy. Yeah, 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I usually film on Sunday, so I really do want to get this video up today because I miss my habit of having a video up early in the week, or like somehow around Sunday, Monday time. So yeah, this is July, so this is everything, like kind of the pre-planning that I was doing for July before I actually moved into my July to December Avec book. So I just transferred all of these details to the next Avec, as I've noted down. All right, weekly view. This has stayed the same. I made a little key in the very beginning, and I've just been using that for the rest of the time. Red is always personal, so personal or social events. They're something that are never related to work or my academic studies. Green is always academic, and purple is hospital-based, like teaching or hospital-based work, where I'm actually on the wards. Here I was actually at the hospital as a patient, so very much not as a student or as a student doctor, but as an actual patient. And I had a full sick week then. If we then track this down to the month, we can see that that severely affected my mood as well. Big dip towards the end of January, which is where we are here. I was ill with the Epstein-Barr virus, and it affected my tonsils and my liver and my spleen. And I was very ill with it, and that's very much gonna also reflect in the daily pages of this time, end of January. But luckily I started to make somewhat of a good recovery, starting to attend the hospital-based teaching again, and slowly starting to make my schedule a bit more filled, but still very much balanced out with these personal plans. I went to Oxford for a weekend, and I think at this point I was still kind of, I kept these weekly views as very much just the things that are happening, scheduling my days, and it was good and functional in that way, definitely. But I think these days, and you'll see that change throughout as we flip onwards, they're starting to get a bit more full. I'm starting to use them a bit more, kind of to their full potential, I would say. Let me switch the light on. I hope that brings a bit more light, a little bit more. But yes, I've started to use them a bit more to their full potential towards the end of this book. But yes, I am enjoying seeing all of these personal events of the weeks and seeing that balance, because I very much used to not be good at balancing my life with academics. I did go through an academic burnout when I was still in high school and trying to get into medical school. Somehow ironic that I was trying to get into a healthcare based academic journey, and doing that I kind of did damage to my mental health. So, but I have learned from that, and I think this year has been the most balanced that I've ever been, which is a big kind of I take a lot of pride in that, and I'm really proud of myself for actually keeping that balance. And I think keeping this book and physically being able to see the balance has been so helpful, and I'm ever so grateful for this book for that, as well as of course friends and family and everyone who supports me and allows me to reflect on my life with them. That has also been helpful. This was a holiday in Greece, no, not in Greece, in Nice, France, and there was not a lot of scheduling done, so I just put all of my extra memorabilia here. And that's how I eventually started to use this aspect of the planner as well. I started to put some extra memories that just didn't fit on my daily pages into this part of the book, as you can see here. I went to Finland for a long weekend in April, which was lovely, and visited their new Moomin shop. I will be going there again later this summer, and I'll definitely this time make a video about it, like going to the Moomin shop, for because I know I've talked about the Moomins a lot, so there's some people that I think would actually enjoy that. So I'll film a clip from the Moomin shop in Helsinki. It's very impressive there. Yeah. Oh, I really enjoy the spread a lot. I got some new stickers from Midori, and I put kind of the sticker sheet label here. It looks really nice, and yeah, at this point there's the brown highlighter that has also started to make appearances, because I started to do some tutoring for biology students, and that was kind of work on top of studying, as well as on top of hospital work, and on top of trying to balance my social and personal life as well. I also like this, so I've started to then, as I got my beautiful Xiaomi mini printer from my partner as a gift, I started to include memories, like actual memories from the days here, which is really nice. And they're kind of like little portals to my life that day. This is also a lovely page. I actually really enjoy looking through these. Another portal into my morning, reading a book, having some oranges, having some yogurt with some soya yogurt with some muesli, I don't know how to say it, like granola, and some coffee as well, and water. A really solid breakfast. Yeah, and now I think we're almost to the end of June, starting June here, and then purely just study time, revision time, one full day off to give me some more power to the rest of my studies. This was when the twins that I started this channel for visited me, so I made a full list of things that I wanted to do with them here. So yes, as you can see, these are my functional planning pages with a little bit of extra memorabilia. Well, memories, extra memories. I forgot what the word is for, like ephemera, maybe. Memorabilia, I don't know. But yes, and here I really enjoyed using my printer to print out these little photos, as well as this big one from my friend's birthday. Instead of doing one big cake, she brought us these like multiple little delicious cakes. That was really fun. And here we are, the last day weekly page. Studying, first exam. I wrote here, it is going to be easy, to try to trick myself and be confident. Then a couple of days break, and then studying again, but you won't see that here anymore. Stationery fest, and a couple of stamps, as well as a sticker from there. I will be making a full video about the stationery fest and the things that I bought from there, because it was a really, really meaningful day for me, and I've had now some time to sit on it and also use some of the products that I bought, so I can kind of make a review at the same time as I'm showing it to you. So yes, expect that later this week. All right, now we're getting to the daily pages. These are my everything. They are the space that I find the most comfort in on a daily basis. Kind of like this metaphysical, I don't know if that's the right word, but like it's almost a physical space, but it exists in my mind as well as in the physical world. I hope that you enjoy looking at them. They're really important to me, and I have seen myself develop through these pages, like not only develop in the way that I view my days, but also develop internally. And I've guided myself through these pages via just doing a logbook, just draining my thoughts on it, my true and honest thoughts, sometimes including some quotes or words from other people that I've tagged with a grey tab, and sometimes including some movies or ratings or thoughts about movies or film with a green tab, and sometimes there's some really profound things that I learn about myself, an observation that I make, and I want to remember that for later, and I note that with a red tab or with a red index sticker. This sticker system has also evolved quite a bit, and I think in my it's one of my earlier videos that I kind of talk about this, or maybe in my first video ever I talked about why I made this kind of a sticker system for this Avec. Actually, yes, it is that one, the first video on my channel. If you're curious about why these stickers, why no more, why feel free to also check that one out. Yeah, okay, I'm just shamelessly promoting my other videos, but they are kind of like the digital archives of my life, whereas this is very much the analog archive, and it's easier to make reference to a video rather than talk about it all over again. So yes, but no pressure to check them out as well. Like, you know, these are here for you to just wander through, and yeah, no pressure. Okay, as I got this book in the new year, these are my kind of intentions for the year. I'm gonna go through these again at the very end of this year and make some reflections about them. So I won't dive into that too much right now, but I am pleased to say that a lot of these things have already been coming true, which is always magical and beautiful to see. Let's get started. January. I always like making a cover page, and in the beginning of the year I was tracking my like consistency, and it trailed off a little bit towards the end because I did get very ill and I was in the hospital, but I think by the time it was April I already stopped tracking this because I was writing in it every day and it was no longer like anything that I had to think about. To be honest, I was very consistent from the beginning, but I still like to see that consistency somehow, because I was like, oh, this is the one thing in my life that is so easy to keep up with, and it gives me so much that I want to return to it every single day. It feels very effortless, and I haven't had a lot of things like that in my life, so I was really grateful for it, and that's why I like to see that there. Once again, Megan Rhiannon's illustrations at Petite Gloom, just to put that out there. Also, I think I'll try to put some things in the description of this video, but I think I won't have a lot of time, which is okay. I'm trying not to expect too much of myself and the comment corner, as I've just turned into summer holiday, but I do love this space, and I do love making videos here, so yeah, more reflections on that as well are to come, because the comment corner is turning 6 months later this week, so there will be a video in the honor of that. Yes, this is when I started, just by kind of accident, tracking the time, the weather, and the location of when I first log into my books. So it's kind of like really a logbook, truly a logbook, I would say. So I started to kind of do that by accident. I was sitting at this cafe, and the environment and the vibe was so lovely, and I wanted to track it all before I even began writing, so I just made a quick tag here, and I kept doing that the next day, and I kept doing that the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and it just went on from there. This is actually this was an illustration that my partner had made, a digital illustration, and then I just copied his digital illustration analog in my book. So not my completely original work, but inspired by him, and he then wrote this text here as well. It means, it's the city that this person is from in his like in his mind. He created this character, so in his mind, this is the place that he's from. Anyway, I think I could talk about every single page for about 30 minutes. The things that happened that day, what stage of my life I was in at that point, and so forth. But I need to remind myself that this is a flip through, and it's here to give you an overall feeling of this book. A bit more of an empty page here. I like that. I really like that. So yeah, I started to include the red ink here a lot more, and now the black and red ink has become my kind of stable tools for working within my pages, to provide a little bit of a, how should I say it, contrast to what words are written in the moment and what words are added in afterwards. And the red is always, as you can, if the way we can think about red ink is marking things afterwards. That's how it used to be done in school, I guess. But for me, it's nothing negative. I'm not making negative notes. I'm just making neutral notes and adding on to the things I've already said before, but just in red ink. And I really started to enjoy that these days a lot, and I kind of discovered that for the first time, I think, in this book. I wasn't doing it as much earlier. I think here I started to feel a bit ill, and I realized that I should be more grateful for my health when I am healthy. So just a reminder for everyone, that when we're going through a good phase in our health, in our lives, let's be grateful for it. You'd think that life as a medical student would remind me of that anyway, but seems like not enough. But definitely after going through that illness, it does come to my mind a little bit more often that I feel good, I am comfortable in my body, and I feel gratitude for it. These are all backfilled because I was not having a great time, but once I had started to feel a little bit slightly better and gotten some of my kind of powers back, I wrote this kind of more of a creative piece of writing, The Burden of Illness, and I'm thinking actually to write this up and submit it to my medical school so they can direct it to the right place, and I hope to get it published. But let's see. It's just a short piece, but I think the field of creativity and health is kind of submerging into each other a lot these days, and it's a new field in itself because it's merging the creative world and the world of healthcare into one. And I know a few people who are working in this field right now, and I'd hope to continue working with them so I can one day merge my two biggest passions in life, which is expressing myself through creative means as well as working in healthcare. And I think writing is definitely part of that, I would say. I love that I've documented my full day in the hospital from 2 a.m. until 12 a.m. the next night. Because I slept in very short periods of time. I don't want to read through it now because I'm gonna get a bit emotional. It was a difficult time, and I never thought I would heal from it. These are all my medications from after getting discharged. And here started my recovery journey that I tried to be grateful for. And I think I was as well. You'll start to see the Common Corner community tracker on Sundays from this point onwards, I think. I really did not expect anyone else to view these videos except my sisters and my family and friends, basically. So it was really fun to watch people walking in through the door and sit around this, what was once a round table, but is now only a half moon, almost a half moon. I have grown quite fond of it. I need to think about if I'm gonna even get rid of it, or I need to think about the state of the Common Corner, I think, now that I have the time. But so far I've been getting along well with this damaged piece, but she's damaged, but she's beautiful. Thank you for always serving me. Thank you to this table. Because of this table, the Common Corner exists. But yes, I've been enjoying watching people walk in, and I still do. I think there's now a bit more than 3,000 of us, which is really unbelievable for me personally. Just grateful that there's a lot more other people viewing these than I would have ever expected. Don't want to get too sappy, so we'll stop there. This was my kind of second year of really truly celebrating the Lunar New Year, as my partner is from Hong Kong, and of course it's a big part of his family culture, and I have a lot of friends that are from East Asian cultures that celebrate the Lunar New Year, which was on the 10th of February this year. So we had a great time. I got this sticker from a Hong Kong based artist at the Brick Lane market. I had such a great time that day, and this week was really a good one because it was also then the Valentine's Day, and I met one of my really good friends that day, because in Finland actually Valentine's Day is translated as Friendship Day, so it's less a celebration of romantic love but more of platonic love. So I met my friend that day to kind of honor the Finnish tradition, but then I also met my partner that day because we actually met that day for the first time ever. The first time that I saw his face was on Valentine's Day 3 years ago. So we met up that day and I had a little bit of a celebration. I was wearing this lovely lipstick. So, yeah. And we also went to Oxford that weekend to kind of celebrate us having quite a long run together. So, yeah. I really have to like hold myself back from, this was so good. All of Us Strangers, really emotional but really brilliant. Yeah, as I said, I really have to like hold myself back from going in full detail for every single page. Oh goodness, I did have a great spring. I think I've kind of forgotten about that a bit through having a troubled last month because of all the studying that I've had to do. It's been quite draining. But looking through these pages, I know that I've had a great spring, and that's once again another reason of why I'm so grateful for these pages, because they remind me of what has actually happened. Because sometimes my mind can really twist things. It can really twist things to seem something that they're really not, and then I can come back to here and see the true picture of everything because I actually documented it on the day, and it's there in truth, in real time. So yeah. These are my own drawings. I would like to include these a lot more because they're these little humans that I like to draw, and they bring me a lot of comfort and peace when I draw them. They always look very similar to each other, but I like to make little differences in each one of them to give them their unique personality, and I'd like to include them a lot more. That's something I've just now thought about. This was the first time that I did a kind of more intentional backfilling of a page, and there was actually a doctor in my comments, which first of all, very humbled that a doctor is watching this medical student's videos. Thank you very much for being here. If you're viewing this video, she mentioned that it kind of looks like patient notes and patient note documentation, and I just thought it was really fun how there's kind of like this intersection of my daily logs as well as my hospital work, and I didn't even realize it until she said it, so that's quite fun. And I've included this kind of format later on in my books as well to make it really clear that this day was backfilled and it wasn't logged on the day, and then I always have a little date when it was backlogged. So this was actually 5 days after the actual date that I backfilled this page. And I included a little strip from Bungo Stray Dogs, which is a really brilliant manga, and also an anime actually. Alright, the days keep going and I'm enjoying looking at them. Oof. My handwriting also really changes depending on the day. I think these is a bit more consistent because the fountain pen, I can only really write with it in one way, and I really like that because it makes my handwriting really consistent. Here I was still, by the looks of it, writing with the Pilot friction pen, the one that you're able to erase, but I realized very quickly that I wanted some ink that is a bit more darker than that, and I just switched to the Muji pen in 0.7 and then very quickly switched to the 0.5 as I realized that that's a lot more comfortable to write with when it comes to the Muji pen, the 0.5 is a lot more comfortable somehow. It glides a bit smoother on this specific paper. Why I'm not flipping through is because I wanted to mention that this artist Yoshitomo Nara, who is really famous but nevertheless brilliant and unique, even though I do see her quite like their works quite a lot these days, but still really brilliant. I actually don't know the pronouns that Yoshitomo Nara uses, so let me refrain from guessing. But anyway, you can see that their stickers are all over my books. They bring me a deep source of comfort, just kind of similarly actually. Maybe you can see some similarities between my creatures and Yoshitomo Nara's humans, but there's something very comforting about them, and they have an attitude. They always have an attitude, and I like to include that in my books to give a bit of a good feeling to them. Once again, Megan Riena's illustrations, and then there was actually someone who commented. I don't know if they're subscribed, and that doesn't really matter, but someone who commented that I'd really enjoy the architectural drawings from this one specific, I think it's actually going forwards, from this one specific like architectural firm. Goodness, I do not remember what the firm was called. If you are curious, message me and I will get back to you on that, because it's documented somewhere in my books. In this book. Yeah. I'm just trying to include a bit more of like, giving credit to the people that have contributed to the way that my book looks. So yeah. If I don't have an actual movie stub, or I watch the movie perhaps at home, I still make my own movie stubs here. And of course I'm marking them with the green dot. And I am actually now working on a sticker for my movie stubs. It looks very different from this. I've edited it quite a lot, and it looks a bit more refined than this. And I hope to release it so that other people can use it as well. I don't know if anyone tracks movies the same way that I do in the actual daily pages, but nevertheless, that will be available hopefully sometime this summer. Your own little movie stub that you can write the movie in, the director, the year that it came out, and your own rating as well, and stick it in your book. I don't even know how I'm yet gonna make that work, but I've been working on it slowly. I'm sure it will go smoothly. Yeah, I here started to daydream about Nice, France, and very soon you'll see me doing a little bit of a documentation of that as well. I realized that I didn't actually have to hold the book. Maybe I'll just lay it flat like this. Oh, here I started to do the agenda for my Common Corner videos. I really like doing this these days, but today we only have one thing on the agenda, which is going through this book, so I didn't make one. But it's been really helpful for me as well, and I've been keeping some of them because it's quite a fun memory for me. Some of my drawings. Oh, I started to daydream about France early. I remember when I was making that one page, this one, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait, and I can't wait to be there and be in the beach and enjoy the food. And then here we go, finally. I cut up my boarding pass so that it kind of fits in a bit closer and it doesn't reveal all of my personal details as well. Because that's the one thing that I'm I don't mind if everything here is red, because they're I don't mind, because no one really knows who I am. Well, now I've met some of you actually at the Stationery Fest in Manchester, and it was such a beautiful thing to first of all become friends with people on the internet. It's a lot more fun than I would have ever expected. But yeah, let me not go on that tangent again. But anyway, I try to refrain from showing all of my personal details here, just so for some safety, I guess. But even if it was my normal journal and I should rephrase that. This is my journal. even if I wasn't sharing my books to anyone, I think I would have still cut it down because it would have taken a lot more space otherwise. Yeah, I really have to I really want to edit this video to cut all of my rambling out, but I don't have the software to do that right now. So all of this is kept in, but my mind is rambly. I have some difficulties with my attention span sometimes, which is why I usually like to edit my kind of ums and ahs out. But I guess it's kind of fun to just keep everything in. Okay, moving on. The first day in France was a bit cloudy, but it was still very cozy, and very soon it turned into this beautiful sunny couple days time of bliss. Bliss and sunshine and the sea and the refreshing sea wind, sea air and food, and it was just, I really enjoyed it. I could go on. I included these two photos from The French Dispatch, one of my favorite movies by Wes Anderson. It's a really brilliant storytelling in this movie, and The French Dispatch somehow obviously just fit very much in the mood of visiting France. Yes, I kept my favorite receipts here. I did a bit of a drawing inspired by visiting the Picasso Museum, as we also visited this very small town next to Nice called Antibes. And there's some sketching from the cafes we were in, and included some really cool business cards. And very soon after, we were back to London and April started. This is one of my favorite cafes in London that I have somehow been to once only, but the once was enough. Because I asked if they can give me a stamp for my book, because I saw one of the baristas stamping their takeaway boxes, and they were very excited by the fact that I wanted a stamp in my book and gave me one, and I was over the moon, and I spent like 3 hours in there working in my books. It was really fun. It was really fun. Here's kind of like this 2-day backfilling, because I didn't finish filling in this side of this page, and I needed to backfill the entirety of this Friday. So I just kind of made like a box that crossed through both of the pages, and it looks quite nice. It's quite refreshing to see something a bit different. Here is a page fully in pencil, which is unheard of, but I was in the British Library, and because because the British Library is kind of like the biggest collection of like kind of archival books in the UK, and a lot of the things there are very valuable. If you go into the reading rooms where these books are, you're not allowed to bring in any pens, because they don't want you making any marks in the books. And so you're only allowed to bring in a pencil and your laptop and your books or whatever, but no other writing utensils, no water, no any kind of drinks. I was kind of shocked by it, but I still went with my friend as she asked me to go. And I was freaking out by the fact that I couldn't have my pen to write with, or, well, I don't have the specific Muji pen now with me, but my Muji pen. And then I just thought, let's make the best of it. It's a unique memory, and here we have a full page in pencil. Some really fun days here. I think April was one of my favorite months of the year so far, definitely. Enjoyed a lot of it. Got my first mini printer and really enjoyed using it, as you can see here. I went to Finland as well. I had a great time staying at my sister's place, at my kind of the sister's place that is right after me. I have 4 younger sisters, so I visited the one that's like the second oldest. I can see here that the receipt is starting to degrade a bit under the tape, but it gives it quite a unique feeling, or like look, I guess. Oh, we had like the best coffee at this one place. I had a lot of good coffee, because I've mentioned the coffee culture in Finland before. It's brilliant. I love it. So I had a lot of coffee there. Visited the Moomin shop, collected all the ephemera from there, continued enjoying my mini printer, collecting my movie stubs. You know, this is the stuff I do. And then I had 1 year of journaling every day. When I say every day, it means like I've stayed consistent through it with the break of maybe 1 or 2 days in a row, and usually only because I've been super ill or I physically haven't been able to reach my book. But it was a full 1 year of daily journaling in essence at the end of April. And it was really fun to make a video about it and celebrate it with you, with other people sitting around the comment corner. And I didn't expect over 1 year ago that I would have a community to celebrate this milestone with, and I expect to celebrate many more milestones with you as well. So here was a collection of all the books that I had filled within that 1 year. And here we're finally entering into May. May was an interesting time because I was working really hard at medical school. I was starting to prepare for the exam season that was to come. But at the same time, I was also really kind of making, like, I think May was maybe the time that I really realized that I'm in this for the long run. I'm in the journaling and stationery community for the long run. It's become a hobby that's extremely dear to me. And I visited kind of stationery shops in London for the first time. Believe it or not, I hadn't visited any stationery shops for the full year that I had started this hobby. I used to do journaling before as well, but it was very different. I need to talk about that another time. But yeah, yes, in May, I visited the London Graphic Centre for the first time, and I think I also visited the journal shop either at the end of May or beginning of June. I started to talk to a lot of people in the community as well, and kind of become friends with them. It was really transforming for me, and it was difficult to really put my everything in medicine, but at the same time I was super distracted by this hobby that I, like, all of a sudden it just felt like I can't let go of this ever. It's something that I want to keep with me, and balancing that with medicine was a bit difficult at times, I think. But I'm so glad that I managed to make it work and still keep both of those things in my life, because I never want to have just one thing take over my life. And here you can really see the balance. I've priorities. I've prioritized my tutoring work, my uni things, but at the same time I've journaled on the day, and just within that one page you can see the balance. Definitely not every day was perfect. There were some days that I just wanted to work in my books the whole day, and that was absolutely okay as well. But I'm glad that during the weekdays, so in the weekends, I kind of worked in my hobbies and I saw friends and visited stationery shops, and during the weekdays I tried to just kind of return to the daily pages and just limit myself to that, and then do my studying. It's not the type of limiting of myself that I'd like to do, but I think it was necessary at times to make sure that I'm keeping up to date with my studies as well. This spread is beautiful. I really love it. This is also something I want to do more of in addition to my own art. I want to have these collages that go over 2 pages. This is a little Moomin Cafe instruction on how to make drip coffee. I just thought it was really cute. These are actually some photos by my partner, and he gave them to me because he actually, when he got me this mini printer and we like figured out how to use it together, he was like, this is brilliant, and he wanted one as well, so he then actually got one for himself as well. But then he's been printing some of his photography for me, which has been really nice to include in my books. This is a sticker that my dad got me from Finland when he visited me on his way to Japan. So he was going from Finland to Japan but managed to have a kind of break in London, so he brought me some Moomin stickers from Finland. This was a gloomy couple of days, rain and clouds, but somehow this spread makes it feel comfortable. Then it was a festival of creative health week. It was a full week celebrating kind of this merging of the creative world and healthcare. And the Arts and Health Hub is a really big kind of organization in the UK that works in this field, and I hope to one day work with them a bit closer. But do check it out if you are in the UK. They host some really brilliant events, and I am going to try to go to a bit more of them during the summer, because I have met actually a lot of my close friends there. So in these events, like-minded people, I guess. These were all sponsored by my dad. So as I said, he went to Japan, and also on his way back to Finland he was able to visit London, so he got me some stationery from Japan, which was really fun, including this like Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro. Like, you get to build this thing yourself. Actually I have it, if you're interested. Let me show it to you, because it's quite fun. I forgot if I've shown it before, because I did show it to a lot of friends, so I kind of get confused who I've talked about this to, but it's really cool. So you kind of build it yourself. It was really tedious work, and I had to use my like, what are they called, those little clippy things? See, this is the life of a person with English as my second language. Tweezers. So I had to use tweezers, and like it took me I think like 4 hours to make this, and my dad had gotten the same thing from my little sister, so we FaceTimed, and like my youngest sister this time. I think I've now mentioned all of my sisters in this video, so there's 4 of us. The one after me is the one that lives in Helsinki, and I visited her in the spring. The twins are the ones that I kind of started this channel for. I made the first video one day after their birthday, kind of as a birthday present, or part of their birthday present. And then the youngest sister is the one that I FaceTime to make this. She really likes the arts as well, and is a really creative little girl. So yeah, we made this together. She lost kind of interest halfway through the video call, and I think my other sister helped her finish it, but I powered through and made it in one go, and it's really cool. Kind of like a 3D. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. That was not you didn't hear that language just now. Okay, we shall fix that in a bit. Unedited live. Saw Challengers for the second time with my flatmates. They forgot to leave they left the S off of the title here, which was strange. Okay. Typewriter to motivate myself to do the last essay of the academic year. Struggle, but I did it. I'm waiting to get back the results from that as well, but I think it went okay. And then June. This is honestly my favorite cover page of the whole year, and something that I've really drawn inspiration from. I cannot wait to show you my new Avec. Like, you haven't seen any pages in it yet. Like, I am so excited to talk about it to you sometime this week, because I have been, like, as much as I was emotionally attached to this book, I made the next Avec my home so quickly, and it's just the whole new level, I'm happy to say, of feeling comfortable in a book. Yeah, but anyway, I love this. I want to do more photography this summer, so I kind of made this, included this camera sticker here, and I did do some photography in June, which is lovely, and even posted some of the photos on another account, and it was lovely to share it with other people as well. And I hope to do more, even more in this July. And hopefully I'll find a way to also share it with you, perhaps in the YouTube community tab. If anyone else is interested in photography and would like to see some of my photography, let me know, and I'll make sure to post some of it in the YouTube community tab, as well as in my Instagram, the.common-corner. Some more sponsorship from my dad from Japan. It's just a bunch of onigiri going around and doing their thing. Here I think there's just a lot of things to keep me going during my revision time. Mainly, yeah, I don't have much else to say there. Finished my hospital work on this day, and from this point onwards it was just studying. Here I had one of these backfill days, because the twins visited me, and I included some photos from our time, and we visited the Barbican. So this is kind of like a bird's eye view of the Barbican Centre in London. One of my favorite places in London, has been ever since I first moved here. I go there like every week, I would say. I'm there a lot, so if you ever want to bump into me, well, let me know first, and then we can meet up at the Barbican Centre. Visited the journal shop for the first time, thanks to this Joe Journals. Honestly, I know that by this point we probably have a lot of the shared kind of viewers, which is really fun. And but if you don't know this Joe Journals, I highly recommend checking out her channel. She gives really good recommendations on where to get your stationery from. So thank you, Joe, again. Okay, we are nearing towards the end. I'm just telling myself all the encouraging things. I look forward to passing all of my exams this year, manifesting as much as I possibly can. Important day, got my first ever fountain pen. I guess this was my mood until I got my fountain pen that day. Studying is difficult, like when you have to really like remember everything. It's a challenging time. I saw the new Inside Out, as well as got some really delicious like iced tea. It's not, I didn't have any boba in mine, so it's not really bubble tea, but you know, from one of those bubble tea shops. I got a mango passion fruit crushed ice, as well as the cream crown on top of it. Really delicious, in Chinatown of London. And yeah, so we saw Inside Out, and it was really emotional, as expected, because it's about emotions. And I think I cried a couple times because I am a very emotional person. And my partner took me there to see it as a surprise, because we both really like animated movies. So yeah, it was a fun time. My dear friend's birthday, who I'm actually gonna go see in like 10 minutes after I finish this video. Drew a little birthday card for her and put a picture of it here. First exam was on this day, and it was a difficult time, but in the evening I went to see Dustin, actually don't know how to say his last name, Dustin Wong, who is he makes YouTube videos, and that's how I found him like 6 years ago, but he makes some music these days as well. And he had a meetup in London, and I went there and met a lot of beautiful people. It was a really good way to de-stress from having that exam in the morning. And then the next day I went to the Stationery Fest. Once again, a brilliant way to forget that I had just done an exam that was very, 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 very difficult. Yeah, and I just put my backfilled logbook of the day. I didn't have a lot of time to write on that day, as expected. And the next day I spent kind of decompressing and making a video, and having some dinner with my partner, and having my one final day off before the last week of studying, which is not here because it's in my next book. Here's just that was some quick journaling that I needed to do earlier in the spring, just at the back here, but nothing special. So I must say we have come to the end. I guess on this last day, actually, I should note, I don't know if I wrote it here, but I did get my second ever Pop Mart. You can see my first one here. They have given me a lot of joy these days. The mood is really nice. And the crazy story behind my second one was that I went to meet my partner, my boyfriend. I don't really know the label here, but you know, someone who's very dear to me. My partner. Let's keep with that. Okay, I'm just laughing at myself because I know that I keep kind of stumbling over my words, and it's all here for you to see. But I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind too much. Yeah, so I had a day off this day, and while I was on my way to see my partner, I stopped by the Pop Mart shop in London. There's two of them now, I think. One in central London and one in East London in Stratford, in a big mall that they have there. And I was at the mall, and I passed by the Pop Mart shop, and I was like, I have to stop by and get one for good luck for the following week. And I got one, and I was like, also at the same time I was thinking like feeling a bit guilty about having a day off, because that's unfortunately something that a lot of medical students go through, is feeling guilty for taking time off during exam season, even though it's really important. But when we then opened my Pop Mart, all of them have a title, as you can see here, and the one that I got is this one, and the title of this Pop Mart is The Day Off. And I think that was the sign that I needed to say that I should take that day off and I should enjoy it. So that was kind of a crazy coincidence, but now I have two of them. And this one is also fitting the mood right now, because I am very much laying on my pillow and napping after the exams. So yeah, let's leave that there for the rest of the video. Give us some comfort. Sorry for hitting the camera stand. All right, so this is the last page. I would like to say thank you to this book. Thank you for keeping me company through this last 6 months. I will return back to her at the end of the year to do some reflections, but I will put it in the storage box where all of my other journals are in as well. For now, thank you for being here through this flip through. I hope that you enjoyed your time. If you didn't, that's also okay. Yeah, okay. My mind is feeling tired now, I think. This is a lot to go through, actually. I didn't expect that. There's a lot of memories there that are dear to me, a lot of memories that are a bit more difficult. But I'm glad that there's a space for all of them here. So with that, I shall say goodbye to you, and I will see you in just a few days with a Stationery Fest haul and story time, I guess. And one final thing is that I do still have the footage from yesterday. It's 1 hour and 11 minutes. I think this one is a little bit shorter than that. Actually, I have no idea if it actually is, but I hope it is a bit shorter than that. And I'm because it has my really honest reflections about the exams and the exam season, and I'm a bit more emotionally talking through my book in that one. I might still upload it, and I might put a link of it in this description in a few weeks, like not today, but I'll let you know on the community tab when that's available, so that if anyone wants to watch that one as well, I'll still be going through the same flip through in that video, but just with a bit more of a different style of reflecting. I'm not also expecting anyone to see it, but I don't want to delete it because I think it's really valuable for me personally. So I'm going to upload it as a private video who anyone with a link can view, and then I'm going to put the link in this video, I think, and I'll let you guys know when I do that, if there happens to be someone that might be interested, mainly for myself, so that I can then find it easily, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I'll also upload it, but I don't want it to show up on the feed, so that there will be 2 videos about flipping through this book. Okay, I shall stop the rambling now. Thank you for staying here with me and being with me here through this journey, and I hope that you enjoy the journey in the next effect as much as you did in this one, if you enjoyed watching me go through it. All right, I shall see you in a few days. Bye bye now. I hope you have a great rest of your day.